places. Or watching in front of the TV an old Western. You know? I mean, it brought me back to both of those places. Very, very cool. So I'm Reverend Greg Dorst. Good to see you guys. Happy Sunday. So, you know, when you see Larry behind the piano and you see Harriet around here somewhere, right over there, you know that we're going to be beginning with a duet. We just love that. We just love to have the piano stylings of Harriet and Larry. So what are you going to do for us today?
If I got some sound. Thank you. Debussy from the Petite Suite en bateau, or in a boat.
So let's just get all warmed up and feel that feeling deep inside, the love that's brought by Harriet and Larry, and then we're going to do a little praying and get going for this morning. So thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you. So soft.
Please join me in a deep breath. And let's go within. We begin with gratitude. We are so thankful for the music that has allowed us to find that space, that deep space within us where we know that the presence of the spirit of oneness resides. For God in us, as us, through us is the truth. We often feel the presence of God through the feeling of love. We summon that right now. We summon that feeling of love. We feel it for not only this beautiful church, this Unity of Pasadena, but for all of the people that we have yet to meet, for all of the circumstances we have yet to greet, for all of the beauty that life brings. We recognize and know that this presence of God is right here, right now in this very space, and we revel in it, and we're thankful for it. We come here on Sundays to be together, to talk about things that are absolutely true, to live a life of ease and grace and love and beauty. We get to do it together. But we do it with the help of so many. We have a board of trustees that we're so thankful for that brings about all of the goodness that you see around you, makes certain that this beautiful space is in perfect shape and that everything occurs in a spiritual, wonderful way where we get to just be grateful. We also have volunteers that come every Sunday and oftentimes through the week to make sure that this experience is just magnificent. I'm sure you were greeted at the door by somebody who is caring and loving. We have volunteers who handle our sound and handle our streaming. We have volunteers who are absolutely attuned to your spiritual needs, and we call them prayer chaplains. We have musicians today that bring about a spiritual knowing that just touches us at our core. And all of this together brings a harmony of goodness. We're grateful for it. I love Sundays. For this too, I'm thankful. I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they're already done. Please join me by saying, and so it is. Amen. We're going to sing a song here in a second, but I happen to notice today that you were sitting on the other side of the piano, Larry. You were doing the bass today, right? You switched. You switched, which I found very interesting, because I really like to know who's doing what, And so you guys were magnificent. It was beautiful. I felt like I was in a boat. You do the easy part? She says she does the easier part, but I don't know if I believe that.
It was too many notes, so she only has one note on that side.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So let's do Holy, Holy, Holy. How about that? What do you say we do Holy, Holy, Holy? You want this microphone?
Okay. Come on. Sounds like a plan. Hey, everyone. Why don't you stand up and smile and sing? We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. We are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. We are holy. Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see beauty and love that lives in me. I am holy, holy, holy. You am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy.
amazing things happen when change occurs. Amazing things. That was in a different key. Did you guys notice that? That Holy Holy was in a different key, but I noticed a lot more harmony as a result of that. Yeah, you like it higher. So it was too high for me, so I threw a harmony part in there. And it was same for a lot of other people, so it sounded like we had about 12-part harmony. You were singing the bass. It's a wonderful thing. Yep. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Thanks. So I'm Reverend Greg Dorst. And for those of you who are live streaming, you have made it to Unity of Pasadena. And for those of you who are here, you already know because you saw the sign on the building. I think it said something else too on the initial slide. It said something like, welcome to Unity of Pasadena. Reverend Greg Dorst, that's me. I get to preside today. What a wonderful day. It's good to see all of you. So we have a way of beginning this process I like very, very much, and it's a statement of oneness. I'd like you to say with me, there's only one thing. It may look like more than one thing. It may feel like more than one thing. But it's only one thing. Expressing as you, expressing as me, and everything we see. You know, I like to say as well that it's also the power behind all of that we see, the power behind all that we feel. I mean, it's transcendent. It is so magnificently infinite that we can't really, really grasp the wholeness of it. But it's here, in, around, and through each and every one of us, and we're so happy to know that. So if you're new to Unity of Pasadena, welcome. We absolutely love to see you, and if it's been a while, welcome back. We just love to see you guys. I have your pictures hanging in my office. In fact, I use the Laughing Jesus as my avatar on Twitter. I hope you don't mind that. Yeah, so it's beautiful stuff. It's good to be here, and I want you to join me as well in a unity blessing, if you would do that, please. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And please join me in a statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence, and I am one with that presence and power. So just sink into this morning and enjoy the service, enjoy the music, enjoy the fellowship. We have food today that's magnificent. I carried some of it in. I got a whiff. So why don't we talk about our community for a minute? How about that? Come on up. Oh, this is Barbara, by the way. In case you don't know Barbara, she is our board president. And I might add, she knows everything. I'm not kidding about that.
But I won't tell. Okay, again, welcome this morning. Yes, our community, that which we are, that which we say we want to be. So let's say together our vision statement. Envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, which puts feet onto that vision, transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth and divine wisdom, compassion, and love, using practical spiritual principles. And our core values which guide us are creating community, living love, teaching truth, and serving spirit. And one of the things we have for our community each month is a brand new bulletin that lists all the topics for each Sunday of the month, who our prayer chaplain is, who our wonderful soloists are, and gives you a general calendar, gives you some highlights of events that are in the current month and in the coming month, and also gives you a very brief summary of well, it's not 2 full months behind, let's say 5 weeks behind, summary of our financial position. as well as it has on it, on the front, those statements we just made of the mission, vision, and core values. So this is a very handy thing to keep around. And as a part of community, this one's not listed in here because it just happened. Colleen Calmano, our prayer chaplain of today, and her husband had a yard sale. And some of the things that remained she has brought today and will display out on the grass during hospitality. And any of the sales, the proceeds will go to our Fire and Ice campaign. Thank you, Colleen. And of course, for our hospitality, you guys in ABC will have to help her out. She's a little busy today, even though she's a C. And we thank every one of you for planning ahead, for what you're going to bring, for working as a team, and coming early, setting up, helping with our initial serving so that everybody gets a little bit of something, and the big part of cleaning up. And our administrative assistant, Gay, has been busy trying to reorganize things a bit, and so you'll find some labels you might not have seen before where things are, and hopefully that will help. Any other suggestions, bring them to us and we'll try to help. And today also, after hospitality, is tea time. And this, with your chaplains, and Helen Dorst will be leading that today. Thank you, Helen. Okay, for our outside activities. This is the last Sunday to sign up for this Saturday for Johnny Sage, who's going to provide a crash course in crystals. And he's a highly certified Reiki master, yoga instructor, and spiritual coach. So he'll be here at 10 o'clock this Saturday. And also some supporters of his will be providing some items like crystals, chakra sets, and jewelry. And they'll have them on sale at an offering of a discount to those participating in the workshop. So the registration is $25. Charmaine is here today. She'll be happy to take your money. So please see her right after service if you haven't yet signed up. Now, Teresa Morris, we warned you last week, registration is currently closed. Maybe we'll get her to come back again another time for those who missed it. I don't know, but anyway. Then we move on to next month in July. How many people were here for Phyllis Douglas Evolutionary Grace last time? And it was a transforming event, wasn't it? I mean, most of us had to sit here for a little while to regroup before we could get up and leave. So she's coming back again on Sunday, July the 16th. It's called Evolutionary Grace, a vocal alchemy sound transmission, and it is 100% unique. So if you missed it last time, I highly recommend it. And the registration is now open, and it's only $20, and so we hope to see you there. And now we'll move back within to our prayer and meditation time. And after Michelle Gillette shares our daily word, we will then move in with Colleen to our meditation. Thank you.
The daily word. Grace. With joy and gratitude, I welcome grace. The guiding, healing, harmonizing presence and power of God is everywhere present. Divine grace is mine whenever I say yes to this presence within me. I release any thought that I am unworthy of grace. Nothing I could do or fail to do would ever disturb my divine identity. Grace need not be earned, nor can it be bought. It is inexhaustible. No matter how much comes my way, I can relax in complete trust that even more will be available as I need it. Grace doesn't happen to me. It expresses through me. Just as I have been blessed to receive grace when I have needed it, I am honored to be the conduit through which it flows to someone else, blessing them in a time of need. The spiritual reference is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 15. Yes, everything is for your sake, so that grace, as it extends to more and more people, may increase thanksgiving to the glory of God. And so it is. Amen.
The song says, maybe, if you can't understand it, I don't know, it says, we're all just seeds, like seeds you plant, seeds in God's hand.
I often stop on my way home and watch the children play, and I wonder if they wonder what they'll become someday. Some will dream a big dream and make it all come true, while others go on dreaming of things they'll never do. We're all just seeds in God's hands. We start the same, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hands. I saw a friend the other day I hardly recognized. She'd done a lot of living since I last looked in her eyes. She told her tale of how she'd failed the lesson she'd been taught, but offered no excuses and left me with this thought: we're all just seeds in God's hands. It's not the same where we land. It's sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hands. And as I'm standing at the crossroads once again, reminded we're all the same when we begin, and in the end, we're all just seeds in God's hands. We start the same, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil, sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hands. We're all just seeds in God's hands.
Good morning. There we go. I was just waiting to see if everyone was going to change their seat. Anyway, sorry. This is such a joyful place, and we're so grateful to be here. We are just seeds in God's hand. I love that. Sometimes we land in fertile ground, sometimes in sand. What I've seen on our little piece of land where I live is that the most amazing things can grow out of sand. We have weeds that are taller than I am in the spring, and we live in very sandy soil. Not in it, but on it. At any rate. The seed, if you think of it though, is a silent thing. There's so much going on, there's so much that is coming out from that seed, and yet it's very still inside, seemingly. And so this time of meditation, I'd like to recall that music that we heard earlier, the music of the sea and the music of the seed. Because music is such a wonderful, beautiful, unifying force in our lives. It helps bring us together. And so let's join together now for a few minutes in the silence, because what I've found, especially today, is that amazing things can happen without you even having to try. On my way here today was when I hatched that plan for the little ad hoc yard sale with the leftovers that I was on my way to take to Salvation Army, and then a thought popped into my head, and I said, wait, I could use this stuff for Unity of Pasadena here, right? And everybody was so, I thought, well, I'll just propose it and, see if it'll fly. And it flew. Wow. It's shocked. So with this thought, this is, I think, what helped to inspire that. This is a little excerpt from a book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Stillness is the first requirement for manifesting your desires, because in stillness lies your connection to the field of pure potentiality. Pure potentiality that can orchestrate an infinity of details for you. And so let's be at peace for a few minutes. And so as we come from this place of stillness, let's remember throughout our day to take a few moments here and there to be still and to allow Spirit to work through us and to help us grow to great heights so that our love can be spread throughout this community and the world.
You go to the river to find the flow. Go to the ocean to find the deep below. You go to the mountains to find the heights. Go to the brightest star to find the sunlight. But where do you go to find your breathing? Where do you go to find your pride? Where do you go to find believing inside? You go to your family to find your past. Go to your lover to find romance. You go to the music to find the dance. Go to the children to find innocence. But where do you go to find your breathing? Where do you go to find your guide? Where do you go to find your healing? Inside. The best part of this whole affair, it's not out there, it's in here. Where do you go to find your feelings? Where do you go to find your guide? Where do you go to find your healing? Inside.
When you get a very nice from Jack, you know it's really good. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, I'm enjoying life. Are you guys enjoying life? You guys having fun? You know, it's an interesting dance, this thing called life, isn't it? I mean, we seem to be caught up with either striving for something all the time, to let go of something. You know, it's kind of a dance in between the striving and the letting go. I don't know. But we seek to define ourselves somehow, in some way, it seems. And we seek to define just about everything. I kind of heard that yesterday in a beautiful ceremony that I attended. It was actually a retirement. And the retirement ceremony occurred in this magnificent room of a building that was brought about through the efforts of this friend of mine who invited me to this retirement ceremony. And when I say efforts, I don't mean that he built it brick by brick. I don't mean that he even supplied the money for it, but he was on the telephone hustling for it. And this beautiful building is on the campus Claremont McKenna College. There are 5 colleges there in Claremont, and one of them is Claremont McKenna. That's my alma mater, by the way. My alma mater, Claremont McKenna. Anyway, it's a beautiful school. We call it the Harvard of the West, just because, you know, trying to define ourselves as something. But he and I were students there together. But before that, we were students in high school together. We met each other in the swimming pool at Chaffee High School. I remember going to my first water polo practice as a freshman, and I didn't know anybody or anything, didn't know anything about what was going to be happening there. And there was another kid in the pool who was a little bit chubby and sort of had this accent, sounded a little like a New York accent, you know, in the pool with me, and I immediately introduced myself, and he said, "My name's Mike." And I said, "I'm Greg." And that was the beginning of a friendship that has lasted even to this day. Unbeknownst to us, would we go through high school together, become lifeguards together at the beach, go to Claremont McKenna College together, play water polo there, and then move on into the next phases of our lives. I remember talking to him about his. The phases of his life were sort of unknown to him at that point in time. I mean, he wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to be. You know how people always ask kids, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" In fact, you might have been asked that when you were growing up. You might have even told people what you were going to be. You know, I remember I would tell my parents what I was going to be. As soon as I found out that you could make a lot of money driving a truck with explosives and things on it, you know, I thought, I've got the courage to do that. I could drive those trucks. And I remember telling my mother, I want to be a truck driver driving hazardous materials everywhere. And she looked at me sideways like, "Oh my God, where did this kid come from?" Okay, I could see in her eyes, you know, that's not what she wanted me to do. But there are so many questions we always have. What are we going to do? What am I going to do? What are you going to do? What are we going to do? Mike was kind of in that space. You know, what am I going to do? Here I have this degree from a college. I don't know where to go, what to do. I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to be. So I remember we were lifeguarding during the summertime after college graduation down in San Clemente on the beach. And we decided to go over to the San Clemente High School pool and just see if we couldn't swim some laps, you know, and maybe get in shape. And had a conversation with some people over there who just happened to mention that there was going to be an opening for a water polo and swimming coach at that high school. And that wasn't me. That wasn't my dream. But that was immediately interesting to Mike. And so Mike made inquiries about that, and lo and behold, he got hired at that high school as the water polo and swimming coach at San Clemente High School. He had to go get a teaching credential so that he could teach in other areas in that high school, and he did that while he was coaching. And he became a teacher at San Clemente High School for a while, until a job opened up at Claremont McKenna College for that same space, water polo and swimming coach. And so he went over there and applied for that job, and he got that job. I mean, here's a kid, didn't really know what he wanted to do, just kind of fell into this interview, fell into this job. Now something else opens up, and he's back at his alma mater after he gets the job coaching water polo and swimming. And he was pretty instrumental in making sure that he brought some great players to that institution. He had a lot of success there. In fact, he had so much success there that they asked him one day if he'd like to be the athletic director there. Not only for that college, but for Pomona College, for Scripps College. He became the athletic director for several of the different colleges over at the Claremont colleges. Beautiful space and beautiful place. He actually never left it, you know. I mean, graduated from school wondering what he was going to do, and then he never left it. I think that story plays out in many, many different ways. But he'd been there for 43 years as an employee. 43 years. And they were honoring him because he was going to retire. In fact, the end of June is it. It's it. There were a lot of people, a lot of water polo players that had played with him or played under him, a lot of other athletes who played in different sports who got to know him, found him quite inspirational, and all he was really trying to do was tell him the truth, you know. And I know Mike very, very well because we lived together at the beach when we were lifeguarding. We went to a school, two different schools together, and it always remained friends. So I knew him very, very well. I knew his deep innermost issues, and we talked about those kinds of things all the time. Just last month, before this event occurred, we had a long, long conversation about retirement because he's scared to death. Because now, all of a sudden, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to be again. You know, just like before, he was offered all these other positions because of his prowess in a certain, area, athletics. And he was young and able and quite willing and said yes to a lot of those things. But now he's in a position where he's going to have to let go. See, the striving happened for so many years, and now it's time for the letting go, and he doesn't know what to do. So we had this long conversation. I don't know what I'm going to do, Greg. I don't know. I have no idea. And I understand, because this letting go of who you think you are, that has been just, deeply ingrained in him for 43 years, is hard. What's the life going to look like? What's going to be fulfilling for me? What can I do next? Should I volunteer my time? Should I just relax? Should I learn a new hobby? It's all swirling around in his mind, but he knows for sure that if he spends too much time at home, he's going to alienate his wife. I mean, he knows that. He knows it. And we've talked about that. We talked about that. So yesterday he got up and he gave about a 15-minute talk about his experience, and he didn't talk about that stuff. He saved that conversation for me. But he talked about how his experience and how it had enriched his life so much. And I could see the fear in his eyes, not because he was speaking in public, because he'd done that many, many times before, but because he just did not know what was coming next. Didn't know. Isn't it interesting how we define ourselves based upon what it is we think we are that connects to what we do or what we've done or what's next or our accomplishments? How much we have in terms of money or property, how much shows up in our lives as the fruits of our labor, so that other people will know. It's interesting, isn't it? You think that the idea of being maybe, let's say, a Buddhist monk would be the antidote to all of that stuff. I love a story about a Buddhist monk who enjoyed the idea of letting go. You see, because he had to let go of all of the old things that he had, his family. He had to let go of the idea that he would ever be a married man. He had to let go of his clothing, his furniture, everything that was physical or material in his life he had to let go of. And he had to don the robes of a monk. Even shave his hair off. I mean, they shave their hair off because that can be an identity, The hair that you have on your head or don't have on your head can be an identity. And so they strive for this baseline of connection and sameness. And so one day he needed to get his robe re-dyed because the dye kind of leaches out a little bit over time, and the color is saffron. That sounds like something you eat, of course, but there's a color for saffron, Those robes are saffron. And so he handed it over to the person at the monastery who does the dyeing, and it came back to him, and it was the wrong color. It was a little bit off. Really upset him. He could not concentrate on the things he was doing. He could not see himself as a monk in this slightly different color. Something was wrong all the time. He realized in his meditation one day that what he had done is attached himself to the idea of being somebody who lets go of everything. Isn't that wild? I mean, he was attached to an idea of being a person who lets go of everything. And he couldn't let go of that attachment. And realized he's on a merry-go-round. What a merry-go-round. Do you guys like literature? Do you like to read? Do you like stories? Do you like stories? I came across one that's right down this alley, right down this lane, that I really, really enjoy. I mean, this one really got me, and it sticks in my craw as to, you know, what our true nature is, what we strive to be, who we are, how we fall into what it is that we do, and what we do when it's no longer available to us. I mean, this one, when I tested it out on Jackie, you know, and I often test these things out on Jackie, and I think I got a tear in my eye while I was reading it. I got a little choked up. It might happen again, we'll see. It's by Bruce Holland Rogers. It's called Dinosaur. When he was very young, he waved his arms, snapped his massive jaws, and tromped around the house so that the dishes trembled in the china cabinet. "Oh, for goodness sake," his mother said, "you are not a dinosaur. You are a human being." Since he was not a dinosaur, he thought for a time that he might be a pirate. "Seriously," his father said to him after school one day, "what do you want to be? A fireman maybe, or a policeman, or a soldier, some kind of hero?" But in high school, they gave him tests and told him he was good with numbers. Perhaps he'd like to be a math teacher. That was respectable. Or a tax accountant. He could make a lot of money doing that. It seemed a good idea to make money, what with falling in love and thinking about raising a family. So he became a tax accountant, even though he sometimes regretted it because it made him feel, well, small. And he felt even smaller when he was no longer a tax accountant, but a retired tax accountant. Still worse, a retired tax accountant forgot things. He forgot to take the garbage to the curb, to take his pill, to turn his hearing aid on. Every day it seemed he forgot more things, important things, like where his children lived and which of them were married or divorced. Then one day, when he was out for a walk by the lake, he forgot what his mother had told him. He forgot that he was not a dinosaur. He stood blinking his dinosaur eyes in the bright sunlight, feeling its familiar warmth on his dinosaur skin, watching dragonflies flitting among the horsetails at the water's edge. What a mind. What a mind. And so I began to think about what this thing called life really is. I mean, these are questions I ask myself even in my meditation or outside my meditation or when I'm walking. What's this thing called life really? You know, what is it? How do we define it so that we can understand it? What's our true nature? Where do we come from? Where are we going? What's this all about? Is there something greater ahead or behind or to look forward to? Is there? Oh, I think there is. I think every moment of every day brings something greater, something new, as long as we're willing to allow it to happen. I mean, that's just where I come from, because I like to experience really, really neat, fun things. I love life to flow in, through, and around me. I just love that feeling. Even though sometimes it's difficult because, you know, we've created this situation where life can be hard in our minds, and lo and behold, it becomes hard. Yeah, it is a really interesting thing. Our true nature in unity is a very interesting question. In religions, we try and define these things, and sometimes we're good at it, sometimes we're not. But we try. We try and find a way to express what it is we think we are, where we're going, how this life, this thing called life is unfolding, and I love that. I love those discussions. We have principles in unity that talk about our true nature. What is our true nature? What are we really? Are we just the sum total of what we think about ourselves? Are we really what other people think we are? Are we what we think other people think we are? Now that's an interesting, isn't that an interesting thing? I mean, who am I? Am I who you think I am? Because sometimes it feels like that, you know, especially when I decide what clothes to wear, and I think to myself, well, what does everybody think a minister should wear, you know? And that's a weird thing, isn't it? Especially in unity, because here in unity, what we know is there's an expansive life, and we're to find this expansiveness first in our minds, in our thoughts, in our belief system, and allow it to express itself in our lives, meaning we don't limit ourselves with smallness. But every time you define something, there's a little smallness there, you know? Every time you do. I'm going back to Missouri to get ordained as a unity minister. Now that's a really interesting thing, because what that sounds like is that's what I'm going to be, and there's some smallness in that. You know? Really? Is that who I'm going to be? What does an ordained minister say? What does he do each day? How does he live his life? Does he communicate in a way that is limited? Is he expansive? Is the he the same as the she? Do we all act alike? I mean, it is very interesting to have that conversation, especially if you're me. You know? I mean, so here I am in a religious order, in a philosophy, in a practical spirituality that says, open yourselves up to great possibilities. And when you become an ordained minister, you'd better act like this. Isn't that scary? That's scary, isn't it? So, I mean, I immediately, because I'm not really too hot on authority, I sort of try to move out of that and find a different definition, you know? I see this unity opportunity as a doorway to expansiveness, see? So when they finally ordained me, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say this has something to do with the way I'm going to act, the way I'm going to speak, the way I'm going to operate. No, this is handing me the key to a door that allows me to be expansive in the world, to bring about new ideas, to operate in a new way, to feel something new, to connect in a way that's really, really awesome. And when I think about what our true nature is and connecting in an awesome way, I have to think about love. I mean, I really think that's our true nature anyway. You know, I mean, you sing because of love. You're here because of love. You're here because if you are not feeling the love that you want to feel, you're here because you know this will begin the process. It will plant the seed. It will bring about a transformation that you want to see. It will be something new for you that's gorgeous and beautiful and feels great. That's why we come to places like this. And we come here because we know that you've got it and I want it. And together we all carry it with us in a way that's absolutely beautiful. And so when I look at love, I have to say to myself, well, what is that really about? What is this love thing really about? Do I love everyone? Do I love everything? Do I just love individuals? Do I just love the form? Do I just love my dog? Do I just love the people I know? Do I just love my friends? Do I just love my family? Or can I say, I love all of life? I think today I can say, I love all of life. Can you say that? Can you say that this thing called life is something that you have absolute love for? And can you see this thing called life as love? Now that's a deep question. Can you see this thing called life as love? So I have a name for that. This is my name for that. I call that formless love. Because it doesn't depend upon what you look like, who you are, whether or not I know you, whether or not I can even identify who you are or what you are. It's formless love. It's just plain love as it is meant to be through the eyes of God. It is God's love. Formless love is something we can attain. When I say formless love, does that sound like something that you can't do? No, it doesn't, does it? It's something you can. In fact, you can do that right now. If you just closed your eyes and brought about that feeling of love without form in front of you, you'd say, oh my gosh, I love everything, everyone, every feeling, every experience. I'm in love with it. I think that's the love of God. I think that's what God expressed when God made you. I think your true nature is really formless love. I think we begin there and then we move into the process of sort of dumbing down our lives. You know, by saying, what are you going to be? Who are you? What do you have? What are your successes? What stories can I tell to make people feel better about me? Who am I really? I am formless love. That's my true nature. And if I practice that, I can be the love of God. You know, the Bible talks about the peace of God. You know, the peace of God. You must know the peace of God. I used to say, I don't understand that, the peace of God. How about the love of God? Well, the peace of God is all about having that feeling of serenity and oneness with all things under every single circumstance presented in life. It too is formless. The love of God, having that love that is true and beautiful and full and everlasting, no matter what you look like or who you are, it is formless. What an interesting idea. You know, unity tries to capture that in ways that are really interesting. Unity has principles. Unity has 5 principles that we talk about all the time. The first 2 I'm going to mention right now. The first one, of course, is what we say God is. And I'll read the exact words that are utilized in this principle because it's important that you hear it from the organization. Because to know this in this way is pretty awesome. This is what the organization says about what we can believe. We can if we wish to. God is all there is, present everywhere, and is absolute good. That's the first principle. We understand that God is all there is. God is everything you see, feel, and know. You know, when I say there's only one thing, it may look like more than one thing, it may feel like more than one thing. Well, what I'm doing is principle 1, which is sort of like a step, because it leads right into the second principle, which is human beings have a spark of divinity within them. Human beings are created in the image of God, and our very essence is divine. Therefore, we are inherently good. Those first 2 principles, that we're inherently good, draws upon the idea that God is love. We spring from God itself. We are that which God is. We are the sons and daughters of God, the brothers and sisters of Jesus. We can do all of those things. We can be all of those things. Unity strives to offer us a way to really, really drive this deeper by coming together and talking about these most important principles and a way to live life practically. So in that regard, what I did was I put together an original poem. You want to hear that? Want to hear that original poem? Larry, would you help me? Would you do a little background tinkling, you know, something, a little mood music, you know, not jazzy or anything, just a little like butterflies flying around or something. You know how music offers a mood? You know how it does it? He might want me to start reading before he even figures out what he wants to do. I call this about unity. Whenever I find something that I really can dig my teeth into, I kind of find myself wanting to express creatively around it, you know, songs and poems. And here's one about unity. In the realm of where hearts unite, beautiful, a tapestry of love takes flight. In unity's embrace we find a guiding light, the divine entwined. Oneness whispers through the air, echoes of truth and wisdom so rare. From diversity a harmony we weave, unity's principles our souls perceive. First we honor God's eternal flame, the source of all from which we came. In sacred reverence we humbly bow to the one who animates the here and now. The power of thoughts, a potent force, guiding our journey, charting our course. With mind attuned to the highest stream, we manifest visions, our dreams agleam. Love, the thread that binds us tight, compassionate hearts shining bright. In kindness and grace we extend a hand, building bridges across this wondrous land. Abundance flows in an endless stream, embracing lack we let go and deem that blessings multiply like seeds we sow. In gratitude, our blessings grow. In sacred service, our purpose is found. An outward flow, love's ripple profound. In giving, we receive, and as we heal humanity's wounds, our hearts reveal these principles. A guiding art. Deep within, they spark and impart the essence of unity's sacred quest to awaken souls to their absolute best. So let us dance as one, united and strong. Together we sing a melody, a song. In unity's embrace we find our way, one family forever and a day. Amen. I can hear Jack say, bravo, bravo, bravo. Oh, good, good, good. Okay, thank you, Jackie. I so appreciate that. Okay, we have some people online I want to introduce you to. We have Sue and Ron. Hello, Sue and Ron. We have Audrey Owens. We have Debbie Nakashima. Gary and Erlene, all the way from Texas. Charles DeTurk, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. We have Wendy Herrera, all the way from Covina, California. We have Mike O'Brien. Oh, wow. Mike is usually sitting right here with his mom, but he's not here today, so he comes in virtually, and we just love it. And hello to all those who will watch later on, because we know you're coming. We usually have somewhere along the lines of 65 to 75 people who view this service sometime during the week, so we're grateful for you. Thank you. We also have a way of showing that gratitude. Could you please come forward, Trish? Trish is ushing today. Now, this is how an usher who's been ushing for a long period of time handles these duties. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you. She is here to make certain that we understand the connection that we have, which is deep and strong, to this thing called unity. So we have a giving, a conscious giving that we participate in, which I'm going to do right now, and I hope you do too, that really is about those things that are important to us, about the community here at Unity of Pasadena that's important to us, and the community at large. For the consciousness we bring to this moment is a consciousness that is brought to the community at large as well. We know that. So we have a way of expressing this community giving together by saying, God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful. And so it is. Thank you, Trish.
Test 1, 2. All right. Thank you.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin, will fire away pray, 'cause today I won't let this shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun.
Warrior.
Yeah, that's what we've become.
That's what we become.
I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me.
Oh.
I know that I deserve your love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. And this is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Oh, 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 oh. This is me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tricia. And so we promise to use these tithes and treasures for the benefit of this magnificent church, this beautiful Unity of Pasadena, and all who come to visit, to see, to stay, to love. And we know that these tithes and treasures are also used to benefit the community at large, for those that we donate to and give to and open up to. We promise to use it all with integrity. We're so thankful. I release, I let go, and so it is. Amen. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to do a silent unity prayer for protection. And we do it by standing up, too. Come on up, you guys. Well, not come on up, but stand up. And after the silent unity prayer for protection, we're going to do what song? What song we're going to do? I Choose Love.
Thank you.
We also have we have prayer chaplains here. Who are our prayer chaplains today? Oh, okay. All right, great. We have prayer chaplains that will come to you if you stay in your seat, if you would like prayer after our service. They will come to you and pray with you to help move you through or solidify something you want to see show up in your life. Anything that might be happening, just allow them to help you if you'd like. So let's begin with the silent unity prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. sorry, Keith James. I choose love. Let love be present. It's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love.